Good afternoon. Welcome to May 15th, 2023 Board of Public Works and Safety. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Jim Barrett.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor.
Lord, we thank you for this day that you've given us. We thank you for those that are serving, your public servants, Lord. We ask you to preside over this meeting. God, we believe that this is your town, your city, and Lord, we know that you have a perfect plan for it. Would you provide unity today and may everything that's done be done to your glory. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome everyone. Remind you to please turn your cell phone off. We will begin with roll call.
Brian Dopp. Becky Gibson.
Present.
Diana Phillips.
Present.
Jim Barrett.
here.
Everyone has the minutes from the May 1st, 2023 meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those? I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Going on to new business. Carolyn, you want to come on up?
Hi. I'm Carolyn Bunsendahl, president of Discover Connersville, which is your Indiana Main Street program here locally. Discover Connersville has a revolving loan fund that is administered then by the city, and thank you, Rosemary, for all the help keeping us straight. I know you're all aware of our process, as we were here very recently for another loan approval, but just as a reminder, when we receive an application, it's forwarded to our partners at Union Savings and Loan. They then look it over and they determine credit worthiness and then notify us of such. If they are credit worthy, if the applicant is credit worthy, our board of directors vote either yay or nay to move the application forward. They have done so, and our final step is to bring it to the Board of Works for vote. Today, I'm bringing you an application from Brad Hendricks, who has been approved to purchase the building at 430 North Central Avenue. He is asking for $35,000 for 5 years. He's developed a very complete business plan for the remodeling and upgrading of the apartments, and it does include all new paint of the exterior. He has already gotten his certificate of appropriateness from the Historic Preservation Commission. And I do have, and I'm sorry I didn't make enough copies, but if you want to look through this at all and then pass it down. Questions well, I don't know if you want to.
I would like to say that money for the painting of the building has been approved by the Urban Enterprise Association.
Great.
So,
So it's really a lot of partners
for the
working together.
exterior painting, yes.
And to help business owners downtown. That's what we're all for. Urban Enterprise, Discover Connersville, the city of Connersville.
I think it's a great project. And,
Absolutely.
I sent on the Urban Enterprise Zone and we reviewed with him what their intentions are. And I think it'll be a big improvement for downtown Connersville.
It certainly will.
And I make a motion we approve it.
I'll second it.
Have a motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Get with you with this information.
Can you send it to me?
Yes.
Email it to me?
Yeah. In fact, if you want to keep this for now,
Okay.
for your records, I don't know that we have another copy, so why don't you keep that, and then I'll email you all of our votes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brad, is Kate out there? You see her anywhere? Are you doing it? You doing it?
Taking care of her item for her. So this is, Kate was gonna be here, request permission to have a parade on Park Road. I've been working with her to get her in contact with the state, and they said if it was closed less than 2 hours, then no permit would be required. I just had to send a letter saying we knew about it. So the parade is gonna be on July 4th from 4 to 5 or so. And it's gonna start at 20th Street, sort of like the Armed Forces Day Parade, or, was that Armed Forces Day Parade that was on that route a few years
A few
ago?
years ago, yeah.
And then it will go up to the park entrance. So they're gonna line up, the parade will line up at 20, across 20th Street, and then pull out on Park Road and take off. And she's talked to Randy and the fire department, everybody's on board with knowing what's going on and just requesting permission to have that parade on July 4th.
No
Questions,
questions?
comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the July 4th parade. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item B, approval of a grant administration contract to Kleinpeter Consulting for the help grant we received. You can see the contract in front of you. Nothing is abnormal out of it. We read it, reviewed it. So are there any questions on the contract? If not, entertain a motion to approve the grant administration contract with Kleinpeter. I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item C, approval for BSM to work in the right-of-way, correct? Sorry, at 6050 Industrial Drive.
So this is another, they're putting in a drop for a business up there. They have to do a little short boring project. I checked it out, looked okay to me.
I have a motion to approve
So moved.
work in the right-of-way at 6050 Industrial Drive. A motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. They're all getting ahead of me today, beating me to the gun. Okay. Item D, consideration of Atlantic Copper financial assistance opportunity for Connersville Utilities. Brad?
We've been working on lead and copper program and learning about it and seeing what's required for a good little bit. Mike has been compiling information into our system for quite a while. We put out a mailing and a request for information from people, which we got back some responses to. But recently, IFA decided that they were going to help fund engineering help for communities in compiling information. So each community has an opportunity to apply for a $20,000 IFA grant, which seems to be, so I hear, is nothing much more required than just asking. So our water engineer, Commonwealth, is going to help compile the information. They have built as ahead of the game as we probably are compared to most communities. It'd be silly not to take the help, especially in the situation we're a little short-handed right now. So we decided to go ahead and ask for the grant, and if we don't get it for some reason, then we can regroup and downsize the amount or go back to doing what we were doing before if we have to.
So according to this, you're looking for permission to apply for the grant?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't even call it a grant, just IFA funding.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't think it's a grant, it's just IFA funding that you have to get in line for.
Motion approved, Brad, request.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I'm just gonna stay up for a
Yep,
while.
stay up here. Go for it.
Yeah, because
You're
you
up
can
next.
see it for a
The
while.
next thing, we have a gentleman sitting in the audience, or in the room with us today, who has given 40 years of his career to the city of Connersville, and he's going to be retiring actually a month or so from now, but he's,
Tomorrow is the actual date.
yeah, he's going to have his last day of work is coming up very shortly, so I just wanted to bring him in front of you today and let you lay eyes on him. Ron, most of you know him, and he's been a real asset to the street department. He worked on painting the streets, he helped take care of the signs, he was sort of the go-to person on traffic information, and he's really been a good one, so just wanted to let you tell him thanks.
Thank you, sir,
Thank
for your
you.
service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Do you want to say something, Ron?
No, I'm fine.
Oh. We do need to accept the letter of retirement though for the Board of Works.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. You can retire now.
I did my last clock out at 11:30 this morning.
Oh, well, congratulations,
Yes.
enjoy.
Yes.
Enjoy your retirement.
The next thing then is, we recently, I think I sent you a copy of the sanitary survey on the water side. And we had a report, and one of the things that she suggested that we do was our wells on the south end of town are not utilized as much, and we don't use them as much, so a little bit out of sight, out of mind, and they were getting a little bit rough looking. So our inspector thought it'd be a good idea for us to get those cleaned up. Mostly cleaned up, but sanded a little bit and painted. We're gonna make those look a little nicer on the outside. It doesn't have a lot to do with how they function, but eventually they could rust and such. So this is a quote. I think I sent you the email also. We checked around some other places too around town. There really wasn't anybody that was too interested in doing this work, so we have this one quote for you.
That's the Bastion and Logan.
No, that one is the Whitlocks.
What's this one for?
It's coming up here in a minute.
Okay. So Whitlock's the one with the price to do.
Yep.
I move to accept the quote.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second to accept the Whitlock quote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Get my stuff organized here. I've got out of order. Okay.
Okay, the next item of business, we had a fire at the wastewater plant, as you remember me talking about a few times. And one of the items that was damaged was a big industrial welder that we mostly used to thaw out water mains when they freeze up. But it's also used as a generator at times to provide power when we're out somewhere. So they paid us a little bit of what it was worth, but if we were going to want to replace it, which we do, they kick in a bunch more. So I think they had given us roughly $10,000 towards it,
Right.
and now the difference between the price and $10,000 they'll be paying us. So we got a couple of quotes from Richmond on that piece of equipment. We actually downsized it just a little bit. The type of welder we have now is not available in the United States because of emission controls. So this one tends to do just about the same job.
This is brand new.
This will be brand new, yeah.
Motion to approve Brad's request.
Second.
Air gas or Indiana oxygen?
Indiana auction is the $20,000 bid.
No,
It's 26.
It's 26.
The cheaper one. The
Would be-
cheaper
it would
one.
be
Gas
air
one.
gas.
The cheaper one was air gas.
Air gas.
I looked at it,
Yeah.
I mislooked at it, I thought it was 20.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The air gas quote was the better
Yeah.
and cheaper quote.
So we need permission to approve the air gas quote at $25,731.58.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
And the last thing, I think I spoke to you last time, we've been working on getting one of our water wells, getting a new water well placement ready to go so that we can drill a new well. We always had 5 on the north end, and we've been working with 4, but with some of the promising big water users that we have sort of in the queue right now, we want to get that 5th well up and operating, because if we get a big water user, we're gonna need it. So this is abandoning the old well that we decommissioned and just getting rid of all the above ground equipment and capping that old one.
So a quote of $8,840 to cap the abandoned well, correct?
Yes. Take away the old equipment.
What will be left?
Just a concrete right across the top
On
of
the
it.
top of it, that's it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Motion to approve this request.
Second.
I have a motion to approve $8,840 to clean up the abandoned well. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Let's see what Whitlock's in here.
Thank
Do you have a
sir.
copy of the Whitlock's quote? Thank you.
You got all
Chief.
that else?
Yeah, I was missing that one.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My first item of business, I requested last month to hire and replace Captain Fee, and we've done so. I've come down to Will Smith. He tested for us last year, September 2022, where we did our physical and our written exams. We did the interview a couple weeks ago with him. Our detective division did his background check, and he came back favorable. If you can read on the letter I submitted, he had a short stint in the military as a MP, was honorably discharged when he decided to come back, to leave the military, come back out and continue his civilian life. He started his life outside the military in California. He's originally from here, but him and his family decided to move back here, so it's fortunate for us. It's their intention of remaining here. So with your approval, with everything that was done, his testing and interviews and his background, I'm requesting that we hire William Smith.
When do you plan on the start date?
It'll be May 28th will be his start date. I did have him sign a letter of conditional employment, pending that he gets your approval, is entered into PERF, passes all the PERF medical, and graduates ILEA. So those are his conditions of employment.
Motion to approve the chief's request to hire Mr. Smith.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Just after.
When do you plan on having him sworn in?
We got to contact him. He works every day during the week. So like when we have him come in and sign these, he comes in on the weekends. But I'm sure he'll make time to come in to get sworn in. So sometime prior to the 28th. All right, on to our monthlies. Everybody has a copy of my monthly report. All these pages. Our overtime is still staying the same at 9,500 roughly. Our gallons of fuel are 1,989 gallons of fuel. Anybody have any questions on my monthly report? So I had a request by Ms. Gibson about a month ago to give a little update on our body worn cameras. It's been a year this month since we implemented them. We did some checking. We have over 12,500 hours of video recorded. It's quite a bit on the server we have. We've discussed it, that we might have to up that in the near future. The videos that we have come in handy. Prosecutor uses them for investigations of some of our crimes, some traffic issues. Attorneys, we've given out some copies to attorneys that has requested them. And also it helps us with the encounters that we've had with the public, with he said, she said type thing. So it's come in handy in the last year. We've utilized it well. All right, on to our monthly incident reports. Our accidents have gone up a little bit, probably because of the weather. A lot more people out, warmer weather, so they've gone up slightly. traffic offenses, we've gone up on those this month also. We've had 351 traffic totals, total of 1,145 calls last month. And once again, when we do our traffic stops, we are doing a lot of our drug interdiction on our traffic stops. So, any questions on the monthly incident reports? Training hours. As a department, we had 116 man-hours of training. Our emphasis last month was stops training. That includes our routine traffic stops, which we do a lot of, and sometimes it turns into felony stops, so we train doing those. Our K-9 division, Officer Perry had 13 hours of training. Officer Watson had 17. Ammerman had 43 hours. That's partially due to going to K-9 school in April. Most of their training they did this month, and they do it with Richmond PD and some other surrounding agencies, was narcotics and tracking. So had a pretty good month of training. Along with our traffic stops. On our drug interdiction, we took 75 grams of marijuana, 16 grams of heroin fentanyl, and 50 grams of meth. Took 15 needles off the streets, and our paraphernalia, which consists of pipes and straws and THC vape pens. So I think that's it. Are there any questions on any of the monthlies?
Thanks for the update.
Well,
Very
I want to comment on the presence yesterday, or Saturday at Celebration on the Ville.
Yeah,
in
turned
the
out
Ville.
well.
Turned out very well,
Sure did.
and we appreciate the time you guys put
Yeah,
in to
you're
do that.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Nate.
Hello.
Hi.
All right, April's monthly report, overtime, we had $5,247.33. We had a manpower shortage of $2,624.16. FLSA was $1,405.89. And then call-in, we had a call-in fire at the end of March, so we had to call in basically the whole department for a large fire up by the high school, $1,217.28. So on the call in. Fuel usage for April, we used 395.78 gallons, total cost of $1,578.52. Incidents for the month of April, we had 189. 38 of those were fire, 140 were EMS, and 11 were auto accidents. Any questions on that page? Moving on. Training hours, we had 49.5 training hours for the month of April, 23 fire, and 26.5 EMS. Those were instructed hours. So, and 16 inspections, and then we had 7.5 hours of fire investigations. So, a few notes down low. We did receive our new training prop at towards the 25th of April. We're going to start getting it put together and getting it ready to go. Also last month we completed our annual physicals. Public safety medical comes down and sets up in the station and provides a very nice physical for all the guys, a health physical. And so I don't know if you've seen it on our Facebook page or not when we posted it. And then Frazee Elementary School, we participated in a Donuts with Grown-Ups, and that turned out well. It was a good time. The guys enjoyed it. Kids enjoyed it too, picking on all the guys. So, Fayette Central School, their second grade came to Station 1, took a tour, and we gave a little fire prevention education for them. So it was a good time, so and they enjoyed it. got to see the fire trucks. And, actually, we had a call in the middle of it, so they all got to the side and got to see the fire trucks go out, and so they thought that was pretty neat. So, any questions?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nick out there?
Real quick, Nick couldn't make it today. He had other prior commitments. So I'm gonna give his ordinance enforcing totals. And apparently he has it highlighted for y'all. Do you guys all have a copy of this?
Yes.
Okay, so he's got highlighted on what he's done and what the process is moving forward. So he has 43 vegetation violations, new ones last month, and 10 trash, junk, and other violations, and 8 vehicle violations. That's his report. So,
He's been quite busy.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Director Colter. And Bottomley.
Hello.
For you.
Monthly report for utilities. Revenue disbursements, didn't make the numbers for April yet, so those are still March's numbers. Overtime, $4,762, 2,043 of that was wastewater plant for vacations and holiday coverage. Attaches our work orders for the water sewer crews. Also, the water plant and sewer plant monthly report is attached. Miscellaneous, next few weeks are going to see more activity. After hours, we're starting to put meters in after hours. We put in 130 meters last week, and we'll do that until we run out of new meters to put in. So it's just been difficult to get them in a regular time through the week. We land applied 8,000 gallons of sludge from the wastewater plant last month, and also we cleaned out digester 3, which had about 40,000 gallons of sludge in it. Right now, it's cleaned out. We're taking all the aerators apart, cleaning them, taking out the defective parts, and waiting on the new parts to get that thing back operated. So hopefully, next 4 to 5 weeks, we'll have the parts in and get that thing going. Headworks project's going pretty well. They're still on time. They have one more section of wall put in on the bottom floor. So that's exciting for us, maybe nobody else, but lots of concrete on that facility, at that facility right now. So in the belt press building, we will start that demo Wednesday, we hope, which is the building that caught on fire. We've been waiting for permits. We had to get a lead permit and asbestos. We had to get those inspected. So we got our permits and it's ready to be tore down. So that should be started on Wednesday. Is there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was talking to you about that water loss, or about the water sanitary survey that we had done. One of the components of that was they declared a significant issue with our water loss. And I've told you about water loss before. It basically means that we're pumping more water out of the ground than we are metering. So somewhere in the system you're losing water, or your meters aren't reading accurately enough. And this is a problem that we've had at the utilities at just about the level that we have now since 2005. And we've done quite a few things in the past, but it's starting to get more serious because some of your water funding through IFA is going to start to be tied to your water loss. So the reason I'm talking about this today is that it's generally expected when you have a water system as old as ours that you're losing water out of the old piping. And we have quite a bit of pipe that's 150 years old. So the pipe itself is in good shape, but a lot of times your joints and things is where you're having leaks. And in a lot of areas in Connersville, the ground takes the water pretty well, and a lot of times these leaks don't show up. But I'm gonna be talking to you probably at the next meeting about, I've been working with a leak detection company. We've done a leak survey before that was mildly successful, but this company has a more comprehensive approach to the way they do water loss surveys. They look at fire lines. One thing Connersville has is we have fire lines going into all of the factories and a lot of buildings that aren't metered. Sometimes, generally accidentally, sometimes those fire lines might get tapped for, you know, not domestic, but, you know, industrial use. They're going to be checking out those lines to make sure that we don't have any illegal taps. And they'll also be looking over the whole city to see if we have any big leaks, try to find those, and just comprehensively look at where our water loss could be. Our meters are in pretty good, at least half of the meters are less than 5 years old. And then when we, probably 3 years from now, we'll have all of our meters that'll be no more than 6 or 7 years old by that time. So we don't think it's in our metering, but some of it probably is in some of our oldest meters. Anyway, I'm going to be bringing a quote to you for about $18,000 at the next meeting, but I'm scheduled to have a meeting with the guy because I kind of wanted to get into the weeds with him a little bit about exactly what they do before I decided to use them. But that's one thing I've been working on, talking about. The Headworks project is humming right along. I don't know if I don't have any pictures this time, but if anybody's been around down there, it's starting to meet ground level now, and they're going to start putting a building over top of all that concrete. And generally speaking, the dewatering is going well. We continue to get our results are clean with no hits of chemicals or anything so far. And I would guess that we're probably maybe 8 weeks from being finished with dewatering. So keep your fingers crossed we don't see any chemicals. And we're working on a plan with IDEM about how we will treat those chemicals if we do find some and be ready to go in case we do. It's still possible that we could get a hit towards the end of that dewatering, but I think we'll be ready and know what to do with it if we do. And have the blessing of IDEM for the plan of how we're going to treat it. So I might have told you last time, but the compost site renewal finally came back. Dave and I worked on that. It's all done and in place. One of the things that in that plan was that there's a big hole in the ground down there that was made when they built the transfer station. They took all the dirt, built that up on a hill, and that hole is going to be filled in with dirt from our wastewater project. Right now, we thought we had the all clear, but then we decided we better talk to the DNR because they show wetlands, that little hole, because it's got water in the bottom of it, rainwater and stuff, that they consider it a wetland. So we have to get a permit from them now before we can fill a hole up that we made. So we're working on that. I wanted to tell you we got the FCC renewal for our radios at the street department. Diana did most of the work on that, so I want to thank her. And the last thing is we're still working on our ideas with trash and recycling, and my fault that we haven't had a meeting yet, but I had to reschedule. Hopefully in the next week or two we'll have a meeting of that group and hopefully have something to report for you about possibly bidding out trash.
And the Diana that did the work for you is the Diana in the mayor's office.
The mayor's Diana, yes.
She was.
Wasn't you this time?
No.
Any questions about any of the reports? I did want to tell you, if you notice, our large item pickup and our, if you total the totals with the week of heavy trash, we were able to dispose of 33 tons of junk and heavy items for the people of Connersville, which I'm pretty proud of that. I think that the guys did a great job. They really helped some people out, and we're helping them move things around where we normally don't. We was a little more lenient about, trying to get things off porches and stuff for people that couldn't do it themselves. And that's quite a bit of junk. So I think that was pretty well received. The last thing, I'll tell you that the compost site hours are now back to summer hours, which is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 8 to 3. Sometimes he's there a little past 3, but I'll tell you 3 just so somebody didn't come all the way in. If there's no questions, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Director Cross.
For the month of April, we had 11 hours, 4 minutes of meeting production, 9 hours, 45 minutes of original production. We will be taping TV3 Center Stage this Thursday, which will feature Claypool Block, that's Justin's band, plays in, for next month. Justin also ran the sound for the weekend for Celebration in the Bill, as well as performed with Claypool Block there. And then I ran the lights for the various events that were going on the stage throughout the day. So, any questions about that?
Did a great job. It was a rousing success.
Thank you. And then did you want me to cover House Bill 1167 as well? May 1st, the governor signed House Bill 1167, which we are well ahead of every city out there, I think. That requires governmental meetings to be broadcast, live streamed, as well as recorded and provided for review later. We do all of those things already. There's a couple things we're going to look at, make sure that we're in complete compliance as far as being able to download online, but I think we can adjust that. So I think we're ready to go on that. That doesn't go into effect until July of 2025, but we are fortunate to be ready to go. Any questions?
At least a step ahead of the curve, Paul.
Yes.
Anyway, may not be completely, but
Yeah, well,
you know how that goes.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Harden.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I should have a copy of my report for April. We had 359 calls for service. That puts us at 1,268 for the year. That was 91 calls higher than April of 2022, and that was our busiest month year to date. There's, if you go back and look statistically, there's some months that are busier, some months that are slower, but generally there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Do have one off on workman's comp, have a funeral report listed there. We did, happy to tell you, we have EMT Charlie Catt was accepted to the IU Health Lifeline Paramedic Program. Okay. So she will be starting this fall. She's actually already started her prerequisites and is in that process now. So we're very, very, very happy. I'm sure that she will do very well with that. I worked with Reed Health at their pavilion on the north end of town, training with some of their staff, basically how to interact with us, what we expect from them, what they expect from us. The other problem that we have with that building is it's just like the jail in that it's a secured facility. So we just can't go in. So a lot of times they call and they forget we're stuck at the front door. So we address that. How do we get in? And then there's doors that it's partitioned. So you just can't go in the front door and then go wherever you want. So yes, getting us through the front door is great, but then we're stuck. So having that someone to direct us, someone to escort us to where they need to go. They have multiple units, multiple sides. So it was kind of a chance to educate them, learn a little bit more about their operations and what they do and how many patients and what type of patients they have up there. It's predominantly juvenile facility. So that was a good thing. I was up there 2 different days and top for them. On the overdose report, we're back down to our kind of our baseline there in February. February was the peak, but we started to really climb, and we're back down to our baseline now. So happy to see that. So
The one thing that was not on your report, because I got it after this had been sent, I did get an update on the 2 trucks that we have ordered. Not happy news, that we're looking at March, July of '24 now. So at
For
first
both?
Both. At first, we thought we were gonna get one this year, and it does not look like, if it does happen, it's going to, I'm not gonna say a fluke, but it might be very, very late this year. So they had all the chip problems, they couldn't get chassis, so they laid off their staff. Now they have trucks and chips, and they don't have any staff. So they're rehiring, they're retooling, re-gearing up. So it's just been one thing after another, and I've talked to them and kind of expressed my displeasure, but there's really nothing I can do about it at this point. I've looked at some other options, and there just really is no other options out there that I feel is a good way to go. So we're just kind of at their mercy right now, unfortunately. So, does anyone have any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, I will point out that we did have a little impromptu axe throwing competition on Saturday, in which we EMS might have beat the police department. We were kind of happy about that. It was kind of up in the air, and then when they were losing, then they said, "Well, all we have to do is hit the target, right?" I'm like, "Yes, with an axe, you cannot shoot at it." So I'm like, "Yeah, that's an unfair advantage." So
I witnessed part of that. It was quite entertaining.
Yeah, I was on the team.
It was quite
I
entertaining.
made no real contributions because apparently I can't hit the broadside of a barn. So, but I was on the team there, but really made no contributions.
I wasn't though.
Yeah, he was not there. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Superintendent Steele.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so currently for the Parks Department team, we are still accepting applications for lifeguards. We do request that if they want to apply, they need to be certified because our class has already begun in the certification process. So if anyone wants to apply, they can. They just need to be a certified lifeguard and over the age of 18 or 16. Summer Discovery, our grounds crew and our pool staff all for the summer have been hired, or they're returning from last year, and so we're ready to go for that. CHS had a Spartan Service Day, and they helped out tremendously at the park. We had a huge group come to the park. They cleaned the pool house, they cleaned the pool, all of the furniture there, and got that ready to go. So that was a huge help for our staff in their preparations of getting the pool ready. They also cleaned Nickel Plate Trail up, got rid of all of the trash that was on the trail. And then last year, the library partnered with the park to put up a story walk. And that kind of, from my understanding, we received everything, and then winter hit and everything, so we were waiting for the ground to soften up and us to be able to put those posts in the ground. And so the students helped us. They actually got out there and dug the holes for us, put the cement in and the post and everything. So those are ready to go. The library is going to be putting in the book here in the next couple of weeks. And then they will, every 3 months, I believe, they're going to rotate those books out and put new books in. And so those are up and ready to go. So we're happy to have that as part of our trail now. And then they also, Spartan Service Day, the students also helped at Babe Ruth. They cleaned the shelter houses, the concession stands, which was much needed, and the restrooms, picked up trash, anything that was along out on the ball fields. And that was a huge benefit as well for opening day activities that were taking place that following weekend. For sports, I do have a correction. We had 382 sign-ups or registrations for our baseball, t-ball, and softball teams, and that was a total of all of them. And then we ended up having our opening day on May 6th, and Justin from Channel 3 was there to do a live shooting for us with the
opening day announcements and activities and events and everything, and it went really well. The parade, there was a lot that attended the parade. The streets were full, and the parents and the kids, they all looked like they had a fun day. We did not have a game that day. We actually had events, like field day events, and the kids they enjoyed it, and then we gave away some prizes. So, and the concession stands were open for that event as well, and the games have started this week, or it was this weekend, and so those will begin, and they'll go through the end of June, the games will. Ryan Lynch, the I think I talked about this last month, but we are going to partner with Ryan Lynch and the head football coach at CHS for flag football, and him and Logan have been meeting and preparing that league to start in the fall. And Logan is also planning to do a kickball league this fall, and also we'll have our soccer leagues for the fall as well. So he's going to be spending the summer planning that and getting prepared. For some programs and trainings that I took part of, was Andrea Napier and I had attended the ADA training that was held in Noblesville at one of their parks. And this was very insightful for me, since that was something I had not been a part of before. And since Andrea and I are working a lot on the HELP grant together and doing some things for some of our parks, I took her along because I thought that would be very helpful. And we did gain a better understanding of just what's required. What I liked about going to that park is they still had things that were not quite ADA compliant. And so we were able to walk the park, we were able to do a review of that park, and then we came back together as a team and discussed those things and why we felt that maybe they were not ADA compliant, or some suggestions that park should do. And that was very helpful to compare to our parks. And so that's going to just help us in the future in the direction of how we're going in our parks and with the new parks as well. I hosted a Living Well, Aging Well meeting, and it went very well. It was well attended. It was in invitation, and it was just a brief introduction of what this program is going to be be like, and I wanted to gather who wanted to be a part of a committee to get this going, and I had great feedback. And I think it's going to go well. A lot of people have came up to me and said how excited they are about this program. They saw in the newspaper. I was at the event on Saturday, and a lot of people came up to me and said that they saw the article in the paper and how excited they were about this program. And so we are going to start meeting with the committee and getting our activities put in place and on a calendar and started. The committee for Christmas in the Park met, and we have begun our planning for that, and we have a lot of great ideas. Right now we're working on sponsorships and participation, so any organizations that want to participate in putting lights up in the park, we're going to be reaching out to different people, organizations, committees, groups, things like that, to see if they want to partner with us and put some lights up in the park. So we're excited about it. The committee is very excited about it as well. And so that process has begun. Some events coming up. May 6th has already passed, but we had our opening day for baseball. May 20th, we are doing a training day at the park for summer discovery staff and pool staff, and then we'll be moving into those directions to make sure that everything's ready to go for opening day. And then opening day for the pool is May 27th, and summer discovery starts May 30th.
I noticed too that you got a new sign at the Nickel Plate Trail for the one that was damaged. It looks really good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla.
Move on to old business. Any old business? Miscellaneous business. Luke, come on up here, sir. This is Luke Morris. He came to me, when did you come? It was beginning of
Beginning of January.
Yeah. He asked if he could do a job shadow under in my office, and never done anything like that before. I said, sure. I said, but you're going to throw me off guard a little bit, because there's a lot of things he's going to not be able to sit through. There's a lot of things he's going to hear that he can't take home. And I've brought him on quite a few things, and he's kept his word. He's honored that word. He hasn't told a soul. He didn't know I knew that, but I did. And but it's good for him to see. It's been quite the education, and we've given him several tasks that he's worked on, and he's graduating.
Yep.
Yeah. No, since he was this tall, so it's a little emotional. So we're excited for you. I'm excited for Gavin.
Yep.
And thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Congratulations on it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Luke.
For my family, people that know me know that's rare. I don't get choked up very often. Side of me, I usually don't come out. But just want to say thanks, Luke. You did a great job. Move on down to claims.
Claims for May 15th, 2023. The city is $178,870.27. Payroll, $516,609.61. Utilities, $237,286.24.
Motion to approve claims.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on down to public. Do you want the public have anything to say? Somebody out there, Clint. Take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.